Y'all saw the title.
That's what we're doing.
Like and subscribe. Y'all got this.
And stick around, because I'm going to show you what to do in an emergency situation if your car overheats.
Alright y'all, let's get into it. First off, do this job when the engine is cold. Your thermostat is usually located in the thermostat housing in the front of your engine block. You can also find it by tracing your upper radiator hose to your engine. Before you start, place a wide bucket under your car to catch any coolant that comes out. Remove the upper radiator hose. The housing is connected to the engine with 2 bolts. The longer bolt is usually at the top. Remove the bolts. Remove the sensor and the thermostat housing. Then remove the thermostat. Check the position. If the thermostat is in the closed position when you remove it, use the ball and pot test to make sure that it is opening and closing properly. I'll show you how to do that test later on in this video. If the thermostat is in the open position when you remove it, like mine is here, you have a bad thermostat and you'll need to replace it. Quick lesson: when the coolant in your engine reaches a certain temperature, the purpose of the thermostat is to open and allow coolant to flow through the system to the radiator to be cooled down before returning to the engine. This keeps the engine from overheating. If the thermostat is stuck closed, your engine will overheat. If it's stuck open, the car won't reach operational temperature and you'll have bad gas mileage, poor heating system inside the car, and it may trigger the check engine light, code P0128. Clean the surface to prevent leaks before you put the new thermostat on. Use a little RTV to hold the gasket in place. Put the new thermostat in place. Put on the new gasket. Replace your bolts. And you're done. Okay, now you'll need to replace your coolant and burp your system to get any air bubbles out. Use a wide funnel and slowly pour in the coolant. A lot of people prefer this funnel, but just make sure whatever you have is big enough to prevent coolant from leaking. Pour in enough coolant until the funnel is about 2 inches full. Make sure you put coolant in your reservoir. There should be a line on your reservoir that shows you where to stop filling it. Start your car and turn your heater on to the highest setting. You'll notice immediately the coolant level in the funnel go down. Slowly add more coolant. Let the car run for about 10 minutes to allow time for the thermostat to open and let coolant circulate through the system. See those big bubbles? That means the thermostat is opening. Also, when the upper radiator hose is hot, not warm, but hot, that means the thermostat has opened. If possible, park your car on an incline or jack the front a little. Air rises, so this will help in getting air bubbles out. You can also gently squeeze some of your hoses to help get those air bubbles out. When both the upper and lower radiator hoses are hot and you don't see any more bubbles, you're good to go. Use something to plug the funnel as you remove it from the radiator to prevent spills. This is where that special funnel really comes in handy. I had to scoop out some of the coolant to get the level down enough to use my plug. Okay, that's all there is to it for replacing the thermostat. Take a test drive and watch the engine temperature. After a couple of days, check the coolant level. You might need to add a little to the reservoir. Okay, if your thermostat was in the closed position, you can test it first before buying a new one. You'll need a thermometer and a pot. Look at the operating temperature written on the thermostat. So this thermostat should open at 195 degrees. Suspend the thermostat in the water with a string and hold the thermometer as the water boils. You don't want either object to touch the pot as this will affect the temperature. This red dial here is sitting at about 195 degrees. A digital thermometer is better, but hey, Work with what you got and make it work. Okay, you see that big bubble? That means the thermostat is starting to open, and sure enough, we're around 195 degrees now. When the temperature of your coolant in your engine goes down, the thermostat starts to close. So this thermostat should start to close when I take it out of the water. See that? This is a good thermostat. If yours doesn't open and close like this, you'll need a new one. You can also test your thermostat without removing it. Just start your car and fill the upper radiator hose. After about 5 to 10 minutes, when your car reaches operational temperature, you should feel a rush of heat come through that hose. If the hose just stays warm and never really gets hot, your thermostat is stuck open. If your car is overheating and that hose is barely warm, the thermostat is probably stuck closed. If you're stuck in traffic and trying to pull over, turn your heater on full blast. This pulls heat away from the engine to help it cool down. Turn off the radio and any other electronics. And yes, unplug your phone from the charger. Pull over to a safe area and wait for the car to cool down. Pop the hood and check the coolant level in the radiator. Please make sure your car has cooled down before removing the radiator cap. The coolant is under pressure, and if you remove the cap when it's hot, coolant will shoot out and burn you. Next, check for leaks and cracks in your serpentine belt and hoses. If your car does not have coolant, you're in the middle of nowhere, you've used all your AAA trips, and you're broke, you can put warm water in your radiator and drive a few miles to the nearest mechanic.
But remember, this is only for an emergency. You don't want to drive around a car that's been overheating. That can cause a whole lot more damage and a whole lot more money down the line.
Okay, y'all, like and subscribe for more fun home living videos, and drop me a line in the comments section. I actually like to hear from y'all. Okay, love y'all.